Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video, we're going to take a look at the Thermaltake Tower 250. This is a new addition to the Tower range here from Thermaltake, and it comes in a variety of stylish colours, including Matcha Green, which you can see here. So it comes in the black, the white, the Matcha Green, and also the Hydrangea Blue at the time of recording this video, which is April 2025. And we've been told there are other exciting colours on the way, so do stay tuned for those. And of course, as always, if you want to find out anything else about this particular model or local pricing near you, there will be some affiliated links in the video description, and you're more than welcome to check those out to see what the local pricing is near you. Now, at the time of recording again, this is retailing for somewhere in the region of about £140 here from scan.co.uk. Again, links will be in the video description in case that price changes. Plus, unfortunately, a little bit of postage on there as well, so taking it closer to the 150 mark, which I think is a reasonable price for this. There is an absolute ton of flexibility with this case. Absolutely hundreds of different options for configurations, whether you just want to go with an APU, whether you want to do some custom water loop cooling, just want to stick an AIO in there, maybe you want to stick a huge graphics card in there. That choice is entirely up to you. The only choice you will have to make is you are going to have to get an ITX motherboard for this. This is an ITX chassis, even though it is slightly larger than what we're used to seeing for some ITX boxes. The reason why they've done this is so that you can have that flexibility. So you can just go nuts with cooling, you can go nuts with performance. Those choices are all down to you. There is basically no restrictions in this particular chassis. So in today's video, similar to what we did in the live stream, which we'll try and link in the video description as well, where we took this apart and went into some other depth. And also we had some interaction from Thermaltake UK, answering some questions, so you might want to check that out as well. Again, be linked in the video description. But we're going to go through today, tear this thing apart, see what it's all about, go through some of the pros and cons, and see if this is going to be right for your next ITX gaming build. So we'll start off with the design, because obviously that is going to be something which is going to be drawing you in to potentially buy this, and it has got that somewhat unique look that we've come to expect from the Tower range of cases from Thermaltake, and this is pretty much one of the smallest of the range. There was the Tower 100, 200, and now we've got the 250. So the 250 brings a few more little surprises to the table. We've got a new design, so rather than being kind of boxy, it's got this nice tapered off side panels as well. So it actually looks a little bit smaller than the sizes would actually suggest, which is always a nice thing. So you don't want just a plain box on your desk, or at least I hope you don't. Hence why you're watching this. So it's really nice that you've got this new design language. And also there is the option, if you wanted to, you can actually mount this sideways. There is actually a separate kit available, which you can replace the bottom section, so it looks basically the same as the top. And also there is a stand as well. So if you do want it to be on its side, then that is definitely an option. And I think actually on its side, it does look fantastic. Although I think it looks great as it is. And there are some other options available as well, such as there is a optional LCD panel kit, which can go into this front section. So on there, you can display things such as system statistics. You can also choose things like the weather or just some animated GIFs. The choices are pretty much endless, or limited to only your creativity. I really like the LCD panel kit, but as I've said on previous videos, unfortunately Thermaltake have taken the choice of making that reasonably prohibitively expensive, which is a real shame because I think it's a really nice addition to the case, but it is quite pricey. Again, links for that will be in the video description as always. So let's start off with the teardown. So this is actually pretty much an entirely toolless case. Obviously for putting graphics cards in, potentially you might want to use a screwdriver, or for putting your motherboards in, or coolers, etc. But other than that, for actually taking it apart, it's very straightforward, although I have got the screwdriver handy, just in case any of the factory installed screws are a little bit on the tight side. So to take off the glass at the front, this is really good. Just press it on there, and it unlocks. It's like on a toggle mechanism, so you can pull this forward a little bit. It doesn't want to fall out, so it's held in at the bottom, and you can just lift this out of the way. So you've got some nice tempered glass there. Depending on the model you get and the color you get, you may find the glass is tinted slightly or not. Again, for more details on that, I would strongly suggest heading over to the Thermaltake website, or alternatively, just ask us a question in the comments section below. Now the other two side panels, again, very easy to remove, so just twist them out and they pop out. Again, they're on those kind of pogo pins, so nice and easy access. So basically, that is it. You kind of have full access to the system should you want to do any maintenance, any cleaning of fans, or maybe just upgrading the RAM, whatever you want to do. It's pretty easy to get into, which I like a lot. When it comes to the top section, this is a little bit more difficult to deal with. There is actually a lid. So on the back, there's a handle. So just pull the handle and the top section is fully removable. So again, for maintenance purposes, dusting, there is actually, as there is on pretty much all of the surfaces on here, a really nice mesh filter, and they're all removable. So this one here, very fine tight mesh on there, and also you've got the airflow pattern, hexagonal mesh, which is always very good for airflow. So again, if you want to make any changes, you can do. If you want a little bit more airflow, then you can just remove this entirely, although because the nylon mesh is so good at what it does, realistically you can leave it in and it's going to be absolutely fine. Also, there are magnets in there to hold it all in place. And actually, if we take a look at the front section, so this is where our front I/O is. So you've got your power button, you've got a reset button, you've got the combination jacks there for your headset and microphone, you've got a pair of USB 3.0s and also a USB Type-C. Now with the top section out of the way, we can see we do get some included fans in here. So there are two CT120 fans pre-installed, and these are on a really nice bracket. So you just undo the thumb screws on the sides, and this can be folded down to gain access to the interior. So that's on a nice bracket. You can remove the bracket, and then you can attach other things in there should you want to, change the fan sizes, whatever you want to do. It's pretty good. You can't really put an AIO in here. I know that some people are probably going to want to try it, but realistically you can't. There isn't quite enough width there. But it's nice that the fact that this is all on a bracket, which is easily accessible. And also you may find you want to remove this to actually gain access to the IO of the motherboard and also things like your graphics card, because all of it goes in this top end, because we do have that rotated design on the motherboard. So this is going to be where all of your IO is going to be routed out through the top and then out through the back of the case. So next we can take a look at the side panel. So the side panels again come off very easily. There's a little latch on the side there, and again they're held in so they're not going to fall out, and you can just slot those off. Also, like again, all of this has got the really nice tight mesh on there. The filters are removable and washable, so you can clean those up should you need to. And this side in particular is actually really good because this is where we've got the option to install a large AIO. So this panel here, 2 screws, you can remove this panel here and you can attach that to up to a 360mm AIO. 360mm AIO in an ITX form factor enclosure. It is pretty nuts, but you can do it if you want to. Or alternatively, you can just put 3 fans in there, 3 120s. You can also install a 280mm radiator or 2 140mm fans. The choice is entirely up to you. Again, depending what your system is planning to be done, you can just leave it blank. It's absolutely fine, and it still looks pretty cool just as it is. So the choice again is going to be up to you. If we go around and look at the other side, which is basically identical, so same thing, just get your nail under there and it's on very strong magnets, and you can remove this panel. Again, filtration is excellent. So this is where you're going to gain access to your graphics card. So this will support graphics cards of up to 360mm in length. There is actually an optional patch panel which goes on this section here. So you can have a flat section here, which point then you can put graphics cards into around about 265mm. So if you've got a slightly shorter card, you don't want to have all this open space down here, you want to stuff some cables in there, you can do that as well. When it comes to graphics cards, you can install up to triple slot cards. We figured this out in the live stream as well, and we put in there basically the biggest card that we've got here, which was an RTX 4080, a triple slot one, and also triple fan, and it fits in no problems at all. You're probably seeing for some B-roll as well. I've done a slightly more moderate card. This is an RTX 4070 Ti Super from Palette, and again, that fits in there absolutely no problems whatsoever. So if you do want to put a bigger graphics card in here, it's absolutely fine, you can do, or if you don't want to put a graphics card in at all, you can blank all this section off so it all looks neat and tidy. Also, while we're in this section, taking a look at the power supply basement. So power supplies, you can put in either an SFX or a ATX model of up to 200mm in length. It's a nice open section down there, and it also comes with brackets. So if you want to use a smaller or larger power supply, you can do. Those are metal brackets, they are installed as well. So that's pretty handy. ATX power supplies generally tend to be a lot cheaper. So if you want to save some money on your build, put a ATX power supply in rather than a more expensive SFX. And also potentially that might be better off for the length of some of the cables. Also, when it comes to fans on this section, so the PSU section, you can put a 140mm fan on this top section or a 120. Most of the air can be drawn in through there. And also you've got the filtration on this front section. If you take off this front panel, this is what you can replace with the LCD kit. Again, the panel to mount LCD comes with the case as well in the color matching. So either Matcha green like this one here, or white, black, hydrangea blue, whatever your choice is. And again, because there's an opening, they've got the really nice mesh on there. And again, these are all removable. So you just slot that out and give it a clean, slot it back in, and jobs are good. And also magnetic as well, so it's not going to go too far away. The ones on the side also do have the removable mesh, but they are a little bit more tricky to get at. You do need to undo a couple of screws to get access to them, but I think realistically most people will probably leave those in place. They are somewhat structural. Next, we'll take a look at the back of the unit. So on the back, we've got the magnetic filter, and actually magnetic filters generally tend to be, well, basically rubbish, but these ones are actually really good. The pore size on this is excellent. It's a very, very large pore size, so it will actually let air flow. And also behind that, we've got the hexagonal mesh, which, as I've said previously, very good for airflow. You can mount in here 2 fans, should you wish to, 120 or 140s. Although this area here is also designed for storage for drives, hard drives or SSDs. So again, potentially you may want to kind of do one or the other, not necessarily both. This section as well, very easy to remove. There's a little handle on the top as well. And that again doesn't want to fall out. So you can just pull that out the way and you can see really nice solid metal construction. So on this section here, you can see there's an option for 2 2.5-inch drives or a single 3.5-inch drive. With that out of the way, you can see we've got this nice big open section here for rear-mounted CPU coolers if you need to get access to the back of the motherboard like you do with some AM4 boards and some Intel boards. For AM5, it's probably not going to be so much of a problem. You've also got nice rubber grommets as well for passing through cables, and the cable management is absolutely sublime in this case. So on each side, there are these little plastic clips, which are probably going to be hard to see, but I've got some B-roll so you can see what that's like. Yeah, kind of springy plastic clips. So you just tuck all your wires in along the side there, so it's not going to interfere with either fans or drives, which may potentially be mounted here. So that's really cool. You've also got a couple of screws on there. So if you want to remove the standard SFX mount for an ATX mount, you can do. Again, that is included in the accessories box, which we'll check out towards the end of the video. But overall, I think they've done a fantastic job. There's tons of room to move in here and for cable management, etc. It's going to be really easy to build in. And next, we'll take a look at the bottom section. So you've got nice big feet on there, keeping it raised off the deck to let airflow come in. You've also got rubber feet on there as well to stop damage to surfaces and also to reduce vibrations should there be any. Removing the filter on the bottom is absolutely excellent. It's got a little handle on here and it pulls forward. So it just runs it in rails. So again, even if the tower is in the normal position, so obviously upright like this, it's actually still pretty easy to get the filter in and out. Just hold it kind of upright and there we go, slots into place. It couldn't be simpler and nice and easy to access. You don't need to kind of rock it back a little bit to gain access, although you can do if you want to. But even with me with slightly fatter fingers, it's quite easy to get under there and just pull that unit out. So yeah, excellent job. I think they've done a terrific job on the design overall of this case. The way that it all goes together, and actually something which I don't think many people mention or even discuss, is the difficulty of getting all of the different types of paneling on here to match color-wise. Now, we've seen it years ago with various different manufacturers where you'd get maybe a white case and maybe the plastic bits would be a slightly different shade. But with this, the plastic bits such as the top section and also the metal bits on the side, basically everything which has been painted the colors. The color is absolutely excellent. You cannot notice any differences at all in the color shade, which again is quite a difficult thing to do, but Thermaltake have managed to do it very nicely. And also they've done it in such a way that it's not really too over the top. Of course, you can blend with this certain devices and other designs to bring out the colors and make them pop even more. But I think for most people, if you had this in the black or the white, you could have this in an office environment and no one would be too bothered about it. Or alternatively, you can pick up one of the fancy colors, possibly the green, maybe the blue, or potentially there may be a yellow, a pink, a bronze, a silver, all kinds of different colors coming out. They are trying to do these kind of theme towards the seasons. Don't ask me which season it is, because obviously I guess it's mostly going to be American seasons, because that's the way the world works. But yeah, I think it's great how they've made this a little bit more enjoyable. So it doesn't have to be a basic box. You can have a little bit of color, a little bit of design element and make it your own. Again, with the Matcha green, there's so many possibilities. Maybe if you're into things like Arma or maybe even Halo, the colors for that would go in really nicely. So if you want to put like a Halo figure inside here and have a themed build, you can do so really easily. And again, with the blue, if you want to do something with the blue, there's again tons and tons of possibilities there to potentially make a very, very custom build. Okay, so we've taken a look at the case. Let's take a look at the accessories, because I know some of you actually do worry about this sort of thing, what is included and what isn't. So you get a whole bunch of screws there, including long screws as well. So if you do want to mount some fans in this top section, there's screws, longer screws, kind of like radiator screws included for that. There's a BIOS speaker. You've also got some cable ties as well. That's really cool. You've also got some additional plastic sections. So if any of these break, they get fragile over time, you can replace those. You've also actually put in a kind of a roll of Thermaltake Velcro strap in there. So for cable management purposes, you can just cut that to length however you want to. So that's pretty cool that they've included that. Like I said earlier, there is the plastic section for putting over here. So that will kind of blank that section off. So you've still got holes for running wires through. If you want to run a graphics card through, or if you want to hide this up a little bit, you can do. So that's great. You also get the Matcha green matching section for the LCD panel, which goes in here. So the LCD panel goes in there, screws in, and that replaces that section. So that's very good. And again, for those of you looking to save a few pence, then you've got the ITX PSU mount. So that just goes into the back to replace the standard SFX one. Again, you can get ATX power supplies much cheaper than you can SFX. So this potentially is going to be one of those cost-saving options for you. So there you go, there is the Thermaltake Tower 250. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite color? I'm starting to really like the matcha green. I said this in the review when I did it in the live stream, that the matcha green at the start is like, I don't get it, I don't understand it. But actually the more I'm around it and the more I'm seeing it, I actually do start to like it. I don't know whether it fits in with my aesthetic, but it certainly does stand out, and especially like against the contrasting white here, you can definitely tell it is a status piece. It really, really is. So yeah, again, excellent case. Considering it's an ITX form factor, you can slam in there graphics cards up to 360mm, CPU coolers up to 210mm, which is absolutely bananas. Of course, you can put 360mm radiator in the side, 360 AIOs, 280s, etc. You can put in ATX power supplies or SFX power supplies. So you really do have an absolute ton of choices that you can make with this. So you don't have to be kind of limited to what we normally consider being some of the limitations with ITX builds, where you're kind of worrying about, will this fit, will that fit? With this, basically, yeah, just buy whatever you want and pretty much it's going to fit. Again, if you've got any comments or questions on this, feel free to let us know in that comment section below. Alternatively, if you want a quicker answer, head over to our Discord. Again, that will be linked in the comments section below or in the video description. But I think that's going to pretty much wrap this one up. I kind of like this. Hopefully you do too. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.